Hi guys, and welcome to World of Tanks Review. I'm Buddy1927, and today I'm reviewing the T110E4. This is the Tier 10 Tank Destroyer in the Torrent line, and I actually have it set up right now for tournament. I played a tournament, Tier 10 tournament, Skirmish 42 on the Bravo section, with an AFTA team, and we actually came in second overall. Walked away with some gold, and this is the tank I used in the tournament. So let's take a look at the tech tree, and we'll show you how to get there. We start off with the T1 Cunningham, and we go down to the T18 to the T82. Now there's two ways to get from here. You can go the M8A1 to the T67 to the Hellcat, or you can go to the T40 to the Wolverine, then up to the Hellcat. I prefer the Wolverine over the 67, so I went ahead and went this way and went up to the Hellcat and continued on down. I will tell you, when you're grinding this line, when you hit the T28, it's going to feel like you hit a brick wall when you're grinding. It took me a while to grind through the T28 prototype, and I'll tell you right here, right now, once you get the top gun for the T28, it actually does perform pretty good, but getting that grind is long and hard. I almost quit grinding it. It wasn't for a couple of my friends who got me to stick with it. I probably would not have stuck with it. But when you get to the T30, every game I played in the T30 I loved. T30 is an excellent Tier 9 tank destroyer. I love the tank itself. It's very good. Unfortunately, I did sell it. I probably will buy it back and probably do a review of the tank. But the T30 is actually an excellent Tier 9 tank. It will take on Tier 10s with no problems. And then you end up here at the T110E4. Now the T110E4, let's take a look at it. It comes with the Tier 10 gun, the 155mm AT gun T7E2. We'll go over the gun a little bit in more detail. Everything else is Tier 10: the turret, the radios, the engine, and the tracks. So let's take a look at the specs on this tank, and let me blow them up so you can see them a lot clearer. It does come with 2,000 hit points. It's not that much. It's average for a Tier 10 tank. 875 horsepower. Top speed on this is 35 kilometers per hour, so it's not the fastest Tier 10 tank out there, but you'll get there. Traverse speed stinks on this thing. Only 28 degrees per second. So I'm sorry, 26 degrees per second. So slow. It turns very slowly, and I'll go in a little bit more detail how to increase your traverse speed. Now, the hull on this thing, the front hull has good armor at 254. The sides and the rear of the hull, no armor, 76 and 38. So if you're being attacked, you gotta face your opponent head on, because if they get a side shot or a rear shot on you, you're dead. Now the turn on this thing is actually pretty good at 203 on the front, 152 on the sides and the rear of the tank. So it's actually pretty good. We'll go over the gun here in a little bit more detail a little later. The traverse speed of the turret is actually not that good, 18 degrees per second. So you gotta kind of move if you got turn your turret to move it more quickly, you gotta turn your tank also the same way you go and point your gun. Base view range on this is 400 meters. As you can see, I have with the crew I got on there, I have 425, and with the stereoscopes or binocs, 532 meters. So it's not too bad. A single range on this is 745. With the crew I have on it, it's 829. So it's not too bad. Now let's talk about the armor on this thing. The front of this tank is strong. It also has some good sloped armor. You always want to watch your lower glacis or the underbelly of the tank. You always want to try to haul down as much as possible. One thing I'll tell you right now, this side is weak, and let me pull up here. This spot right here where my hand is right now, that's where the ammo rack is. It's on both sides. It's between these two struts. So you want to make sure that is protected, because if you receive a shot there, you will get ammo racked. And if you're low enough in health points, that top will go up. So you want to protect that as much as possible. The side armor is basically 90 degrees up and down, so you get really no protection on the side of the hull here, but you do get some protection on the turret, because the turret is angled slightly, and so you do get some ricochet shots. The rear of this, the turret has this rounded part here, and it's also angled a little bit. Now the cupola of this tank, a lot of people think this is the weakest spot on here, and actually is not. Head on, you got the gun, you got the machine gun here. This is spaced armor, so this gives you a little bit, and it's also angled. And also, the armor behind this, the space armor, is also angled. So I actually have had people try to shoot the cupola out and do nothing but ricochet shots on it, or no damage. So the rear of this tank, the hull, it's angled slightly down, but it's only 38 millimeters of armor, so you want to make sure you protect your rear. Now, one thing I'll point out right now on this, the traverse speed on this thing sucks, both the turret and the tank itself. And one of the ways I actually increase my my traverse speed in my tank is two ways. I'll pull up the driver here. First thing I learned on this tank was clutch braking, which when it reaches, it actually starts activating at 1% and will go all the way up to 100%. Once you reach 100%, you actually have an increase of 5% to your traverse speed. So that actually helps you out a lot. Plus, as not on all my crews, but my whole crew has brothers in arms, so that adds another 5% to the crew's skill level of this tank. So that gives you a 5% boost to your traverse speed. And the other thing that I do to increase it is actually use Coca-Cola. This is American tank, so that's the consumable for this tank, which adds a plus 10 to your crew skills, which gives you another 10%. So you're up total 20% in your traverse speed, which doesn't sound like a lot, but actually does make a difference. But this tank is set up for tournament. It's not set up for pug. Usually I don't carry a case of Coca-Cola when I'm going into pug matches. I carry automatic fire extinguisher instead of the Coca-Cola. So that's how you can increase your traverse speed on your tank, is by doing those three things. One other thing that I do is pull up the gunner real quick. I do have snapshot on here, which gives me a plus 7.5% in accuracy while the turret's moving, while it's rotating, or if I'm going doing peek out, peekaboo shooting is what I call it. So as long as my tank is moving, it'll give me a 7.5 boost in my accuracy on it. So that's another good thing about it. I have right now my commander, my gunner, and my driver are all learning camouflage. Both my radio operator, you see radio operator, what is he? I'm sorry, I got two loaders on here. I get it straight. Both my loaders have already learned camouflage. So this is a tank destroyer. They did take down some of the camera buff that tank destroyers had, so they wouldn't remain invisible when they're shooting at you. But if you can get your crew trained, all your crews trained in camouflage, that will help hide your tank a little bit, and also make sure you have, as you can see, I have permanent camouflage on here for all 3 seasons. That will help increase your camouflage rating a lot. So once these 2 guys get 100%, that will increase my camouflage rating even more. And camouflage training starts at 1%, goes all the way up to 100%. So let's take a look at that real quick again. Camouflage rating, what basically does, it will start for every 1% you get a 0.5% increase in your camouflage rating. When one person has a camouflage rating at 100%, you get a 50% bonus to your camouflage rating. So if you have all your crew members on there, you'll get an even more increased camouflage rating. So camouflage as a skill is very important for tank destroyers, mediums, and even light tanks. And maybe even heavy tanks, maybe as 3rd or 4th perk for that tank, will help hide that tank, because you want to try to make your tank as invisible as much as possible. So let's take a look at the gun on this tank, and let me blow that up for you so you can see that a lot better. This is a 55 caliber gun. Rate of fire on this is 3.8 seconds. I'm sorry, 3.8 rounds per minute. So it's roughly 3 rounds per minute. It has a slow reload on there. Right now, I think I got, when I was in the tournament with the Coca-Cola, the gun rammer, and the skills of my crew on there, it's down to about a little bit more than 12 seconds, between 12 and 13 seconds in reload. So it's not too bad. Average damage, average penetration on this is 295, 375, and 90. Average damage on this is 750, 750, and 1,100 in damage. Accuracy on this is actually pretty good at 0.37 at 100 meters. Aiming time on this is a little slow at 2.9 seconds. And carries AP, APCR, and HE rounds. Let's see. Well, the way I got this tank set up is for tournament right now. So I carry no AP in tournaments. I carry APCR and HE rounds. Mods I carry on here is large gun rammer. I'm actually going to be changing this out. Instead of the gun lane drive, which the gun lane drive gives me that 10% to the aiming speed with these 2.9 second aiming speed. That helps out a lot. But you can also, instead of using the enhanced gun lane drive, you can actually use oops, let's go ahead and close those 2 up real quick. You can go ahead and use no, you can't. I'm sorry. You can use vents, which will give you a +5 to your crews instead of using the gun lane drive. Or you can drop your binocs on here, which gives you a +25 to your view range only if you're sitting still. You can drop that and put your vents on here. So actually, I'm actually thinking about dropping gun lane drive and putting vents on here. I want to keep my binocs so that I get that 25% view range a little bit better. But you gotta remember, when you're using binocs, you gotta sit still, wait for it to light up. It lights up green on my screen. That lets me know that it's ready for use. So you gotta sit still for a minimum of 3 seconds before it becomes active. So, but this was the tank, and that's the way I have it set up right now. Of course, things change and people change your play style. As you can see, yes, my commander is named Bud Walter. They didn't have Buddy available, but they had Bud, so named him Bud Walter after me, but he is a first lieutenant. I got 2 second lieutenants. I got a first sergeant, and I got a master sergeant on these crews right now. And eventually I grind up. The only problem, and supposedly World of Tanks is coming out. I've heard some things that in 9.4 that they actually are coming out with a premium tank in the American Tank Destroyer line, but for right now there isn't one. So the only way to grind these crews up is to actually participate in pug matches, and it gets expensive running these. But I always use AP instead of gold rounds. So, and I don't have the Coca-Cola when I'm using pug matches. So this tank is not a bad TD for tier 10. I've enjoyed playing it. Let's open up the commander. As you can see, he's fought 1,084 battles. His total experience is 1,061,000. Once you start hitting your 3rd and 4th perks, it takes a while to grind up this 1%, and he has 9,493 to the next increased skill, which is average is about 17 battles. So it takes a while to grind up this, and to actually increase his skills or his next rank, 504,421, which is roughly 939 more battles. So it's going to take a while to get all that done, said and done. Let me talk about the pros and cons real quick of this tank. It has good alpha damage and increase actually over the T-30's 155 gun. It has a mounted turret, decent mobility, acceptable front armor. The front armor is actually pretty good. The side and rear is not that good. It has large tracks with some armor blocking, with some armor backing. So that's one of the good advantages of it. It basically all the T110 series. You got the E3, E4, E5, which the E3 and E4 are the 2 tank destroyers, and the E5's is tier 10 heavy. So it has good. That actually is a good tank, good playstyle. Now the cons on this thing is, other than the mounted and the turret front is quite fragile since it's flat. The turret on that is flat. The gun has over 250 millimeters of penetration ability to penetrate the mallet. The turret has limited traverse speed. Yeah, and I did forget to point that out. You can only go 90 degrees on each side, so it's a total of 180 degrees. That's one of the reasons why you want to make sure you increase that traverse speed. So once you reach 90 degrees, either going left or right, you can't go anymore. And if you're being circled, you need to move your tank along with it to try to keep it. And that actually, with what I pointed out with increasing the traverse speed, actually helps out a lot. Sides on this is weak. It has a large rear engine that's mounted in the rear and can be easily penetrated, so your engine can be knocked out fairly easy because you got no armor protecting that engine that's in the rear. This tank is very good, and I showed you where to ammo rack this tank and how to protect what you need to protect in this tank so you don't get ammo racked. So it does have an easy ammo rack on this thing. But overall, once you learn how to play the tank, all tanks have weak spots. Even the Moss has a weak spot. And once you find out what those weak spots are on your tanks and you try to protect them as much as possible, it becomes a pretty good tank. So I do have this tank in action. It's actually a couple clips from the tournament I participated this past weekend, and you can see what the damage and how this tank can actually take some damage too. So let's take a look at the clip. I'll see you all on the other side.
Let's go.
Hi guys, and welcome to World of Tanks Replays. I'm Buddy1927, and today I'm actually in a tournament, which is Skirmish 42. We're on the Bravo side of the Skirmish, and I'm with the NAFTA team. And in this replay, I'm showing you how I played the 110. Now, according to XVM, we only have a 33% chance of winning against the other team. So we're starting on the cliffs on the south side, and I'll be showing you another clip from the north side, how we played out and how this tank actually did pretty good. Get behind some cover here. Hit the BC for 775. Waiting for that reload. Received a hit from the AMX. Hit the AMX for 667. So far they've taken out 2 tanks and we've taken out none. Looks like they're rushing them. So I'm actually staying up here. I'm going to try to give them a little help. Shot and missed. Received a critical hit from the AMX 50.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
Took out a tank. Waiting for that reload. That's the only thing I don't like about this tank. It has that 12 to 13 second reload.
Enemy armor is hit.
But you can see I hit the FV for 806. I'm actually well protected. All I got shown is my turret. Just waiting for that reload. 806 on the IS-8. So I have taken out two tanks right now. I'm actually received a halfway decent hit.
That one bounced.
I bounced. Score is 3-4 right now. So far I've received 307. I've done 3,054 in damage. I've actually taken out 2 tanks. I've done a little bit more than 3,054 because the first tank didn't get recorded by XVM. We're basically just 2 tanks alive right now. Got the FV. So the score is now 4-4. Got 3 kills. Now it's just a matter of trying to figure out what to do. The IS-7 is actually running. Beck on my team, the T110E4, the American heavy, he's one-shottable right now. hit the Waffen tracker. I have over 4,000 damage. And I'm waiting for my reload. And as soon as I got reloaded, he went behind the rock because he has a long reload time. So I'm kind of overwatching between Beck and that WT. I'm actually going to see if I can get around a little bit and see where that IS-7 is also. I shot and missed. Had a perfect shot on the WT and I screwed up. Sorry guys. See, I told you I wasn't perfect. WT has blacked out. Done over 4,000 in damage. We're actually in 3 kills, took out 3 tanks, so I'm actually doing pretty good. Right now it's 2 on 2. Both tanks are one-shottable on the other side. Beck is definitely one-shottable. And if I play it right, I should not be one-shottable, but you never can tell. All they have to do is concentrate fire on me, and 2 shots, I'm gone. So it's a waiting game. You only have 10 minutes per battle, and we're down to 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So now it's just a waiting game. There's IS-7, and he shoots me, and the Waffen tracker had a good line on me. So I'm gone. We're gonna follow Beck the rest of this way. He's down to 3% in health. So Beck is actually trying something. See if he can get up behind him, and he doesn't know if they're going to try to come around and get him. So that's why he's facing front right now. But they don't know where he's at. So he might have the element of surprise. So he's going to, their last known position, he's going to see if he can come up and get up with them. We're down to 1:20 seconds, so if he can survive, we'll at least get a draw. So that's, a draw is better than a loss in my book, especially in tournaments. The win is best. You got a total of 10 battles to fight. First one wins 3 victories, wins that round, and you proceed on to the next. So draw at least gives us a chance to go on to the next, and neither one of us is up. So this was the first, I think this is round 3 that we're playing right now. So this is our 3rd day in the tournaments. So a draw is just as good as a win, as far as we're concerned. We don't get the win, but we don't get the loss, and the other team doesn't get the win, they don't get the loss. So, and it's a good way to try to figure out what your enemy's going to bring on it. So it's just a matter of time. 7 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. So I'll see you all on the next. I got another tank for you, another replay, so I'll see you on the next replay. Hi guys, we're back. we're back
Time to roll
on
out.
the cliffs, and we still have a 33% chance of winning. And this time we're on the north side of the cliffs. So this is round 3 that we were playing in. This is actually the second battle that we did, and you get to see how this tank also performs on the north side compared to the south side. So this let you know the damage I did dealt. I killed a total of 3 tanks and actually did 4,581 damage on the first match. So we're in the second match of round 3. So you get to see how this tank can also does damage, and also actually does receive some damage. You gotta learn to protect this tank as much as possible. I know I got 2 tanks ahead of me, and we're already down 1 tank. You can see where the Waffen tractor is right now, down H1, and I have no shots on him. There he is. Let's see. Here's the IS-8. Got to basically wait for him to come around. So this is a waiting game. Like I said, we have 10 minutes per battle.
Penetration.
Hit the IS-8 for 734. Received a no damage shot from the IS-8.
Enemy is hit.
Did 808 on the IS-8 again. So it's just a matter of trying to protect the tank as much as possible. Hide. Yeah, works. Hiding works. Especially when you're in a reload. Especially when you got that 12 to 13 second reload. It pays to hide as much as possible. So you can see right now the score is 1-2. I didn't realize we had Tim McGee on the other side from NCIS. Sorry, Tim. It's just a matter of doing these battles. You gotta be patient, and the more patient you are, the longer you survive. The longer you survive, the more damage you can do and take out guns. And that's the whole purpose of this game. Is Tank Destroyer is to deal damage, and that's what I'm doing. So far I've dealt 1,500 with 2 shots. There he is. And I screwed that shot up. Now I gotta wait for the reload. Yeah, Jackhammer in with a tier 9 in tier 10 battle. See how that works out. There's the FV, and there's the AMX-50. And the score is now 1-3. So I know I got the rush. We got Stealthy running like for his life. I got a window beside me, and it's just the three of us still alive. So I'm gonna watch my butt. Hopefully Window's watching my rear on those two tanks in front of us. Here we go. Got no shots because of the houses. Have not been spotted, so that's a good thing. And Window is not watching my rear. So we got Stealthy. There's the AMX-50. He's using the ridge, but he's gonna pop out, and hopefully we can go ahead and there's the FV. Been spotted. W2 does no damage to me. Getting shot at by 3 different tanks. Taking out the AMX-50. And I'm being blocked by my own teammate. Hopefully I can get a shot and take out the FB. So I've dealt with 3,000. Still have a Wolfen tracker to worry about. But if we can knock out the IS-7, the score is now 4-3 in our favor. So if we can help get the IS-6, IS-7 there off of Stealthy. And I'm going to see if I can come on a lower approach and come with a different angle. So we got good crossfire going on. A three-way crossfire. You cannot die. IS-7 taken out. That's kill number 3 for me. I've done 35, 86 in damage. Now it's up to us to get that Wolfen tractor out. He's on our cap. And it's just a matter of time trying to get there, get it done. Still have a minute and 22 seconds, so if we can at least get a reset back to 0, we'll end up with another draw. Or if we can actually knock him out, we end up with the win. You cannot die. Been spotted.
We didn't even scratch them.
And I bounced the Wolfen tractor, and I'm knocked out by the Wolfen tractor. We have a reset on the cap. And I'm with Window. Now I'm with Stealthy Promethean. And he takes out the final tank. So that was a victory, guys. So out of those two clips, you can see what the damage that the T110E4 can do and the damage that the T110E4 can receive. Protect the tank as much as possible. If you can protect the tank as much as possible, you can deal a lot of damage and get a lot of kills. Out of those, you saw both clips, you saw that I actually killed a total of 6 tanks in both clips. I received, I died in both clips, but I still did a lot of damage. I did 4581 in the first one, and I actually did 3901 in the second clip. So that's still a lot of damage being dealt. And the idea of the tank destroyer is to actually do damage to the tanks to get them down, and you saw and it works out pretty good. So a couple things I like to say. I do have a new website. It's buddy1927.com. Check it out. It will have some information about me and information about the games I'm playing and stuff like that. I will once I get my Twitch live stream schedule up, it will be posted on that website, so you can come check it out. I am trying to work out right now a schedule for my Twitch broadcast, so you know when I'll be on. I have some personal issues going on right now, so it's my being on is going to be a little bit sporadic, but hopefully in the next week or so I'll be able to get a set schedule and post it up on my website and check it out. Check out Marky Dragon Network. They're my YouTube provider. Check them out. Links down below on my description page. And if you like this video, please like us on YouTube. If you have any comments about this video, please leave your comments down below on my YouTube channel. I'll try to answer them as best as I can. And if you haven't done yet, subscribe to my channel. That way you know when the latest video that I have done come out. So I'd like to thank you for watching, and do me a favor, save some tanks on the battlefield for me. You all have a good day.